evening. This is a box office check-in for y'all. Have some interesting and exciting new information to share about what happened this weekend at the domestic box office. Patrick Perot, if you're watching this and you are misinformed about whether we are covering international box office in our fantasy league, no, we are just covering domestic box office. Sorry. Number one at the movie theaters this weekend was How to Train Your Dragon. For the second week in a row was number one with $37 million in its second week for $160 million total. This was drafted by Cinematic Joshua. Pretty solid, but I think there is a little disappointment from Universal that this hasn't been the hit that Lilo and Stitch was. I think this movie's going to have legs, but still a little bit, just a tiny bit of a disappointment because by all accounts, it's been much better received than Lilo and Stitch. How to Train Your Dragon is a beloved franchise, but it really looks like Lilo and Stitch at this point is the movie of the summer, and How to Train Your Dragon will, be in its tails. It's Stitch Tales. Number two, opening this weekend was 28 Years Later, drafted by Jen Walks Into Walls, opened at number two with $30 million. This is Danny Boyle's first movie that he's directed since the movie Yesterday in 2019, one of my least favorite movies of all time. But I love 28 Days Later, and I'm very excited to see this movie. Now, even though it was written by Alex Garland, I don't know if you heard, I heard that in the first draft of this movie, Alex Garland's draft of the script of this movie was like, he's like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to think of the zombies. Are they good? Are they bad? I don't know. You have to decide. And then that's actually really cool because that's like cool and sophisticated. $30 million. I think there was a little bit of disappointment on behalf of the studio from this too, because maybe that they were hoping it would be a Final Destination like breakout hit with a lot of nostalgia for the old movies, and there was so much enthusiasm for that trailer, one of the greatest trailers of all time. But ultimately this is a good result for this movie, and it's getting great reviews, and I expect it to continue playing strong. But the same cannot be said for Elio, opening at number three with $21 million. This was drafted by Cinematic Joshua. Elio, I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is the lowest ever opening for a Pixar film. This is lower than the $29 million that Toy Story 1 opened with in 1995 when nobody knew what the hell Pixar was. And this just sucks. This sucks. I remember seeing the trailer for this movie 2 years ago. Now, that's one of the problems, is that this movie seems like it had just one of the classic troubled Pixar productions. But the trailer looked really fun, and it looked good. I mean, the characters don't look that distinctive, but it looked like it had a fun premise. But then the director of the movie, who this was his passion project, wrote it and conceived it and nursed it all the way, got fired and removed from the movie a year ago when the movie was originally supposed to come out. And so Pixar then replaced him with Domi Shi, who directed Turning Red, the best Pixar movie of recent years, and another co-director whose name escapes me at the moment. But I know that it was unusual for them to bring on a new director that late into the process and then bring on two directors instead of the traditional process where they have one senior director and one junior director. But Molina, the original director for Elio, is still in the Pixar, still works for Pixar. He's currently listed as the director of Coco 2, which will be coming out in 2029. All this is to say, this just sucks. I mean, Pixar has really diminished its brand for a number of reasons, and I don't know if they can come back. Meaning, by comeback, I mean, can they have big hits with original movies? They can obviously have hits with their sequels, with their existing properties, and that's why you're seeing Coco 2, and I'm sure you'll see Monsters Inc. 2 or 3 or whatever. You'll see Finding Marlin. You'll see Wall 2E or whatever. If I was just going by Happy Meal marketing, because I go to McDonald's twice a day with my son at this point because it's the summer and there's nothing to do. We own the entire Elio Happy Meal toy line. We got Tentacle Man here. We got Blobby. We have Elio himself. And I just assumed this is going to be a giant hit, isn't it? No, flopperoo. And that sucks. And I'm sorry, Joshua. But you're doing great with How to Train Your Dragon. Anyway, number four is Lilo and Stitch with $9.7 million, drafted by Neophyte Reviews, stands at a total of $387 million. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning was number 5, $6.5 million, $178 million total, drafted by Jen Walks Into Walls. Number 6, Materialists, drafted by Neophyte Reviews, was number 6 with $5.8 million for $24 million total. Another flopperoo, Ballerina from the world of John Wick, number 7, $4.5 million for a $51 million total. This was the draft pick of Smash Trivia John. John also drafted Karate Kid Legends, which is number 8, with a $2.4 million weekend, $49 million total in its 4th weekend. Number 9, Final Destination Bloodlines, added $1.9 million in its 6th week for a $135 million total. This movie it predates our draft. And number 10, nobody drafted this movie, but Kubera, number 10, had $1.8 million. This is a Telugu language film from India, from South India, from Tollywood, the Telugu language cinema of South India. Although I read that this movie was filmed both in Telugu and in Tamil, in 2 different languages, and it's a 3-hour movie, which just seems like a nightmare of a production. But this movie looks really, really good, and I can't wait to see it. All right, let's update the standings now. Not much movement in the standings. Neophyte Reviews remains at number 1 with $411 million. Jen Walks Into Walls is at number 2 with $225 million. Cinematic Joshua is at 3rd place with $196 million. Then we got Smash Trivia John, Screen Time Coda, Captain Hot Dog, and Drooby Dooby's Movies in 7th place. And Drew, I'm very sorry for Tyrese Halliburton and for the Pacers. The remaining 3 players, Load-Bearing Beams, Patrick Perot, and Spooky T, we have yet to see a movie open that we have drafted. But what's coming up next, everybody? What's coming up next? 2 movies open next week. June 27th, Drooby Dooby's Movies gets Megan 2.0, and Load-Bearing Beams, Lacey and I, we get our first pick, F1, the movie, the Brad Pitt F1 movie that is getting extraordinary buzz. And I can't wait to see this movie and can't wait to see what happens with it. Probably it will not be a Top Gun Maverick type hit, but I think everyone will like it. And I hope you all liked this. And I'll see you soon at the movies.